Because I have the 7-foot-long ticket. You know, there are families on the road, it's Thanksgiving Day, stop driving like an asshole. Give me your license and registration. Welcome everybody back to the channel. My name is Jimbo. I have Hunter with me, and we have our two pieces of behind us. And today I wanted to talk about something, you know, with the holidays being around, which, by the way, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Chrysler.
All that fun
Crisis.
stuff.
Yeah,
Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, all that.
Merry Chrysler.
Happy holidays. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Our previous video, if you haven't seen it already, was it was a good one to make, I think. Everybody seemed to enjoy it. If you haven't checked it out already, make sure to go check it out. Supercar owners give back to a community. That's not only the title, but that's actually what we did. We donated a lot of toys to kids on Christmas.
From Montgomery County, drove up with these really cool cars to deliver toys to sick children who will spend Christmas in the hospital.
Now today I wanted to tell a story that happened on the last holiday, Thanksgiving. I wanted to tell the story today, and you know, Hunter's got a similar story of being young, dumb, stupid, and driving cars that we shouldn't, or shouldn't have.
Yep.
And this particularly for me is a story of back when I had my C5 Corvette. A little bit of Jimbo history, folklore, you know, mystery, whatever. I dropped off the face of the earth on YouTube anyway for about 1.5 years during the time when I was working with Rob, and then I started figuring out what I wanted to do, you know, moving forward per se. I wasn't posting on the internet, but at that time I had convinced myself, and by convinced myself I really mean the internet convinced me to buy a C5 Corvette.
It's like the car version of WebMD. Never.
Yes.
Never.
Yes, WebMD.
Never self-diagnose.
But anyway, I bought this C5 Corvette, and when I initially got it, like any car when you first buy it, there's the euphoria of new car, ooh, shiny new thing. And I enjoyed it for a little while, and it was probably, I'd say, well, I mean, honestly, I kind of started hating it the minute I blew the diff in it, which is a very, that's a great piece of internet history right there. But that C5 Corvette was actually, it was very fast. It made like 460, 430 wheel at its heyday, I think. And it was a heads cam car. The cam in it was amazing. I mean, that car made so much noise. Whoa! There was a whole like argument with me and Rob when I bought it originally. I was like, you can't store the car here because the car's too loud and you're gonna piss off my neighbors, the neighbors I'm trying to build next to. But the thing was with it, I didn't personally like it. I only really got any thrill out of driving that car if I was driving it way too fast. We don't endorse driving quick on this channel. You know, there's plenty of clips of us driving fast here and there, you know, and when we're in Mexico. But I was driving my C5 fast when I wasn't in Mexico. I was driving it fast down 95. I was driving it fast down the Jersey Turnpike. I was driving it fast on 270. I was driving it fast everywhere because the only time that I felt like I was having any kind of fun in the car was when I was going a lot faster than the posted speed limit. So for this story, let's go back to November 23rd, 2017, AKA Thanksgiving Day. So on Thanksgiving Day of 2017, I was driving home to see families. In true YouTuber fashion, I had left way later than I was supposed to. And instead of just leaving on time, I decided I'll make up the time and I'll just drive a little bit faster. At the current rate I was driving, speed-wise, I was going to arrive 25 minutes earlier than I was supposed to. And this was a 3.5-hour drive. So you do the math on that, I was booking. I was going fast. And I had not taken the normal drive home from New Jersey to Maryland because of where this place at dinner was. I ended up on essentially like pretty barren. I forgot what the route number is. Actually, wait, I can check what the route number is because I have the 7-foot-long ticket from the police officer.
Want me to grab the other end of it? So
Yeah, hold that for me.
Yeah,
This
okay.
is taller than me, by the way.
I need to find a good place to hold it. There we go. Route 78.
Aha, there we go.
Yep, I-78 at mile marker 8.5.
There we go. Okay, well, now that that's been said, Route 78. Route 78, Jimbo was driving on Route 78. And when Jimbo was driving on Route 78, he had one earbud in listening to Limp Bizkit, and the other ear was listening to the obnoxious sound of my car. That car stood out like a sore thumb. Anybody who's driving on the road, if they heard that car go by, you know, I remember too, like it wasn't just I was weaving in and out of traffic, because there's a graceful way to pass people going very fast and a not so graceful way. I was doing the sit right on somebody's bumper and like keep revving forward to like make people move out of the left lane. I was being such a dickhead. Like, so don't do this, okay? Because otherwise you get the naughty list. And you want to talk about something that was very ironic, was I actually did have a radar detector in the car and it was going off. I didn't hear my radar detector going off because I was too busy listening to, you know, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
What song was that? I'm trying to remember.
It's all about the he said, she said bullshit.
If you want to know how reckless Limp Bizkit is, their last Bizkit is spelled B-I-Z-K-I-T. I remember it clear as day, I'm going to be honest with you. I was hauling ass in the left lane. I had just gone around, it was just like a gray Grand Caravan. And all of a sudden, it was a downhill area of the highway. And you come up, and as soon as you come up, there's a break in the median. And by the time I could pull focus with my eyes, per se, up to see in front of me, I see a Ford, it was like the Ford Taurus, like the gray Interceptor.
Yep.
He had his lights on already.
Ooh, the Taurus or the Caprice?
No, it was the Caprice.
Oh,
it was
the
Caprice.
6.0 liter
Yes.
V8s. Oh,
Yes.
my Lord.
I saw it, I immediately slammed on the brakes, pulled over. And you know you're screwed when you get pulled over and you have cars like honking past you as you go by. Like that's how you know you're done. Like the cop, like doesn't matter what you say to that cop. That cop's writing you a fat boy.
Yep.
Like you're done. So this cop came up to me, and before I can get a single word out, this was impressive. I say, officer, and he cuts me off and says, listen, we have gotten multiple 911 reports about you driving on the highway like crazy. You know, there are families on the road. It's Thanksgiving Day. Stop driving like an asshole. Give me your license and registration. The reason I pulled you over for speeding, you were doing 105 and a 65 on Thanksgiving Day. My car, it was black, had a black spoiler, the windows were tinted black, the taillights were tinted black, the front headlamps were tinted black. You want to know what 2 stickers I had on that car, including on the front windshield?
Can I guess?
Super speeders. Without further ado, I would like to go over the things that he wrote me for. First, he wrote me for the actual speed, which was 105 and a 65. That was a $208 ticket. Then he wrote me for reckless driving, which in the state of PA, like reckless driving is the big ticket you want to get taken off because that'll get you good.
Oh yeah.
He also wrote me for, this was a good piece. So he was leaving the car. He was leaving and he's like, so where's your seatbelt? And I said, oh, I just took it off to grab my wallet. That's what I remember.
That's gonna be the third right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
He wrote me for the ticket. He wrote me for the seatbelt. That was an $87 ticket. The window tint was too dark in the back. That's a $102 ticket. Keep her going. Here's just for the hell of it. Tail lights were tinted. Didn't like that one. That was a $102 ticket. Careless driving as well. Just to throw it on there. That was a $102 ticket because even though he didn't witness it himself, he figured, well, you know, the people calling in must be right. So he wrote me for weaving in and out of traffic. Didn't like that one. As I said, $102 ticket, and that's it. Okay. I remember getting this and just saying to myself, you know, this was the one time I remember looking back and saying to myself, you need to stop driving like this. You're gonna kill somebody. I think everybody at one point gets a ticket or something happens to them while driving that triggers kind of that thought process finally of, this just isn't worth it. To add insult to injury, by the time that the traffic stop was over and I actually got back on the road, the amount of time I had been pulled over was exactly the amount of time I had saved.
Yeah.
So there was zero benefit whatsoever to doing this at all. And I looked like an idiot. I felt like an idiot. My parents never heard about this until like 8 months afterwards. Eventually, I went to court with this. I found a lawyer who, because I just kept calling different law firms trying to find somebody that knew the cop. Because usually these kinds of things, eventually you find the cop, or like the lawyer that goes to lunch with the cop all the time, or the judge, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And eventually get it reduced to like a parking ticket or something stupid with a big fine. And I didn't find that. I probably called like 15 different law firms, which was essentially all of them in this particular county, and eventually found one independent guy who knew the judge pretty well. And they got it reduced down to, I still paid like $450 in fines, but I got the reckless dropped. I think I kept the careless. It was $900 in legal fees, which was essentially equates to the ticket. And let's just lay it out.
I was gonna say.
Just make it a nice even frame here.
It's gonna be, I think, further apart than we're sitting.
This is a good one. This is one for
It's a good 7-8 feet maybe.
This is definitely taller than me. This is 100% taller than me. Now, that's my C5 piece. You were telling me you had something similar in the Mazda. I wouldn't,
It actually
not
was.
speed-wise, but.
It actually wasn't in the Mazda.
No?
No, it was in my 2015 Ford Explorer.
Oh, so the cop car you own.
Yeah, the cop car. And unfortunately, that mentality of it looks like a cop car kind of got me into that situation.
Sure.
I was in Madison County, Virginia. This was on Easter Day. I was cruising with a Dodge Durango.
Yeah.
Of pretty much the same year.
Yeah.
We had both been cruising, going, a little bit over 100. I had just got the car, so I was enjoying having the twin turbo 3.5 liter V6.
It makes
enjoying
cool noises.
It does make cool noises, especially with the blow-off valve that's on there. Yeah. I was enjoying driving that. And then I was cruising alongside a Durango. Had no idea who it was. And it was kind of just a game of like cat and mouse, basically.
Yeah.
And we did that for probably 10, 15 miles. My father always told me on that one road, and I was heading down to a piece of property I have in Virginia where the $1,000 car challenge was filmed.
This was in Virginia?
This was in Virginia. Madison County, Virginia. The place you don't want to speed is Virginia.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going 29 miles over the speed limit.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, because you know it better than I do, why don't you enlighten our audience, for those who don't know already, why Virginia is such a bad place to speed?
So in Virginia, they have sort of different speeding laws than Maryland. In Maryland, speeding in and of itself is not an arrestable offense. Can't get arrested, you can just get a nice big hefty ticket. In Virginia, if you're going 20 miles an hour over the speed limit, that's reckless, and they can take you to jail if they want to. At 30 miles an hour over, still reckless, that's a mandatory 3 nights in jail. If they clock you doing that and they put it on the ticket, they have to take you to jail. That also goes for, not the having to go to jail part, but if you're going over 80 miles an hour in the state of Virginia, even if because there are roads there that are 70 mile an hour posted speed limit. If you're going 11 over that speed limit, that's reckless driving.
And what's crazy is the fact that a speedometer can be off by 10.
It can, and it could be as little as changing the wheel size.
Yeah.
The wheel and the tire size.
And the higher speed-wise you go, like the larger the differential can be.
Yep. So basically, what happened is, my father had always told me that one road, I forgot what road it is, but it's just going through the heart of Madison County, Virginia.
Yeah.
Always told me, be careful, do not speed on that road. Cops run radar more than anywhere else on that road. And I should have listened, because, going about, 105, 110, was coming up over a hill, something told me to start slowing down because, you know, it was a complete blind hill. It was,
Yeah.
you know, two lane, but came over the hill. As soon as we crested that hill, and I'm saying there was like no delay, about 150, 200 yards up the road, I see a cop sitting in a parking lot, like right next to the road. Lights go on as soon as we come over the hill. That was a quick trigger finger on that radar
that's
gun.
impressive.
Oh, and instantly, we both of us, this guy I don't know in the Durango, slam on our brakes. He gets behind me just to, you know, both seem inconspicuous.
Sure.
And, you know, slowed down. I knew it was going to be one of the two of us. And at that rate, it's just shooting fish in a barrel. It's whichever one he wants to choose, that's who he's going to pull over. Both started going to the side because he was behind both of us. And then he, for some reason, I don't know why, he just kind of drifted back into the road and just kept going. And the cop stayed behind me. You know, I pull over to the side of the road. You know, I keep my seatbelt on.
That's a good call. I can tell you, good call.
Even though it's I turned the car off, even though it's a push button start, I still put the keys on the dashboard.
Yep.
You know, there's really no point, just I guess out of respect. You know, he starts walking up to the car, and when he got to my taillight, kind of popped my head out of the window. I let him know that I was open carrying because it's Virginia.
You were open carrying?
I was open carrying.
Okay.
I was open carrying. It's legal in Virginia. And you know, I knew that I was going to be getting a ticket. I didn't want to escalate it, have him see it when he comes up to the car and be
Sure.
surprised. I wanted to let him know first. They love it. And got up to the car, you know, looks around the window slowly, said, fair enough. And then, you know, we start talking. He's like, why were you going so fast? I was like, honestly, I wasn't paying attention. I was cruising with the other guy that left. I was like, not saying that was okay. I'm not trying to push the blame off to him. I was just letting you know we both been cruising. I know you probably clocked both of us going the same speed, and it was just, you know, picking out which one. It's like, I know I was speeding.
Yeah.
And he definitely appreciated that. And he pointed out on the back window, I had an EMR, emergency medical responder sticker, because I had just gotten my certifications.
Sure.
And he says, you know, I see you have the EMR. Can you at least give me a reason? Was there an emergency you were trying to get to? Like, just give me something to work with. I said, honestly,
It sounded like he was trying to help you out in a way, like just
He
give
was.
you an out, even if it was a fake out. Like it sounded like
was
he was just trying
actually-
to come up with something.
he was faking trying to help me out, basically.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
I'll definitely get to that. So he asked me, he said, you know, can you at least give me something to work with? Were you trying to get to an emergency, you know, something really important going on? I was like, honestly, just wasn't paying attention. I was going over the speed limit. Yeah. And he's like, okay, good. I'm glad you said that, because, you know, if you had said yes, I know you're lying, and I would have arrested you. You know, that's just where, you know, being honest to police, you know, if you get pulled over, a lot of the time they already know what happened. They almost know the full story of
Yeah,
it.
they're not as dumb as you think.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
They almost know the full story before you have to say a word, and they just want to test out to see how honest,
Yeah.
to see how much leeway they'll give you. But because of that, it ended up being 29 miles an hour over the speed limit. If I had been going 30 over the speed limit, that would have been mandatory 3 nights in jail. And he was very happy to tell that to me. It's a $235 ticket, which, you know, wasn't so bad. The killer was 6 points. It was a 6-point ticket, one stop.
And this, so do you have a Maryland or a Virginia license?
I have a Maryland license. So
Okay.
thankfully the points, they didn't transfer over. It actually had somewhat of an impact when I was trying to apply to police. They have a maximum amount of points to
Sure.
apply. The maximum was, you can't have 6 or more points.
Sure.
Well, I had 6 points.
Yeah.
So I had to talk to the lieutenant. I said, well, here's the thing. I have 6 points. I don't know if they're I know they're in Virginia. I don't know if it shows up on my record in Maryland. I was
Yeah.
like, just wanted to be upfront with you about that. And, I was sitting there with a class full of, 30, 40 applicants that were all standing in line to get their paperwork signing that they don't have six or more points notarized by the notary in there. And I was like, do I sign or do I not? Because if I do, that's
You can't lie to the police when applying to become a police officer.
Oh yeah. So the lieutenant ended up signing off, and about a month later, I got a call back that said, "So we looked up, you looked up your record, and doesn't show you have 6 points. He says you have no points on your record." I was like, "Sweet, just please don't talk to any Virginia officers about that.
Yeah.
They'll probably tell you a different story." At the end of the day, the officer that had pulled me over was extremely respectful. He started off being really, really aggravated, which, I would be too. Someone flying down the road in a 4,500 pound SUV, just cooking it. He started off pretty pissed off. Again, it was Easter, so he probably didn't want to be working that day. But at the end, he was just really respectful. He liked all the stuff that I was doing to make him feel more comfortable, especially because I was open carrying.
You de-escalate the situation.
Yeah. Let him know before I grabbed my, license, registration, proof insurance, stuff like that. Let him know exactly where each one of them was. And then, he ended up letting me go with just $235 and 6 points.
Yeah.
So I made it to my piece of property in time for Easter dinner.
Yeah. Anyway, with all that being said, we've had plenty of cop interactions on the channel, and some of them have turned out well, some of them have been a lot of fun, some of them not so fun. But in general, the one constant with all of them is, we try to respect the police, as long as they respect us. Obviously, being respectful in your case is very helpful. Yeah. I don't know if you would have made it out the same way if you hadn't been respectful. Also, like in terms, you mentioned the EMS thing with lying and whatnot. I didn't even think of that. I've never heard that. That's crazy. Yeah. You're just sitting there just like, I know you would have been lying. So.
That's why you just gotta be completely honest. Most of the time they will, take it down a notch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they know you're being honest.
Yeah. If you're gonna do 100 miles an hour, you shouldn't be on the street.
Yeah.
You should be on a track, you should be in Mexico somewhere. You should be doing it in a safe, organized area where it's okay and it's expected you're gonna do 100 miles an hour. Be safe, for the love of God. Both of these tickets are an instance of us not being safe. And I think, I can speak for both of us in the sense that this was a ticket, your ticket was kind of a case scenario where you kind of have that conversation with yourself of it's not worth it because you put so many other people's lives in danger for what? For not even a good adrenaline rush. It's like, there's so many other things you could be doing that are a lot more fun in a better environment that aren't putting other people's lives in danger. So for the love of God, with New Year's coming around, everybody please be safe. Don't do this. Don't come up with the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. Please be safe out there. Enjoy the holidays. Enjoy the time off. If you're working New Year's, obviously thank you for working and having things open for us so we can buy things, go out, have a good time. But I guess thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on Savage Garage.